Your driving test is not another driving lesson. Most learners prepare for their driving test like it's another driving lesson. That's a mistake. Your instructor is there to teach, prompt and correct you. Your examiner has a completely different job. In this lesson, you'll discover what the examiner is really looking for, why they stay quiet when you make a mistake, and what you must be able to do completely independently if you want to pass.
So, the biggest misconception is that people want to treat the driving test like a lesson, and it's not a lesson. The driving test is definitely not a lesson. And the trouble is that what you have is, if you've been in the car with an instructor for a long time, you expect certain things to happen. And unless the instructor has actually differentiated those things for you between what's going to happen on your driving test and where you are at that time, it's going to be a problem for you, because you are going to work with it as if you are dealing with a driving lesson when you aren't dealing with a driving lesson. Okay? And the two things that happen on this driving test that are different to when you are getting instruction. Two things. Okay? Anybody got any thoughts around that? Okay, what are the two things that we are dealing with here? What is different? I'll tell you what the main difference is. Number one is you as a student have to be able to drive completely independently. No help. That examiner is not going to help you. The only thing the examiner should help you with is with the navigation. And it's actually a bit of a tell if the examiner starts helping you with other stuff on your drive. Invariably, it means that he's nervous and he knows you're not fully prepared. So the one is independent driving, and there'll be some more questions around that. And then there's a second thing that's really important. The examiner is only going to give you navigation. He's going to give you no feedback. So those are the two things. It's independent driving and no feedback. If you make a mistake, the examiner will not comment on it and should not comment on it and give you no feedback. If you're with your instructor, the instructor will give you feedback. But on the driving test, the examiner normally does not give you any feedback until the very end of the test. Okay, so those are the two things. Okay, all right, now the instructor versus the thing. So what we spoke about, the driving lesson is friendly, it's patient, it's tailored to you, it's for you to build confidence and learn at your pace, and no shouting. Guys, don't let your instructors shout at you. If they do, they're not in control of being an instructor. You need to be patient. You're learning. That's what it's all about. And in the driving test, you are going to have, the examiner is going to be quiet, and he's going to give you navigation, and that's what you're going to have, right? And hopefully he's fair and he's professional, and it's about an audit. Your driving is being audited. So the instructor nurtures, guides, and prompts you through the mistakes. The examiner assesses, observes, and records results without interference and without feedback. The instructor focuses on your growth and development. The examiner focuses on public safety and DVSA standards, in other words, driving to the requirements as set by the DVSA. The instructor will correct your mistakes, so he's giving you feedback and he's helping you, whereas the examiner just keeps record and makes sure you don't kill him. That's what he does, and he's going to be working towards the end of the test. Now this is very important. I've had this situation in the past where somebody says to me, oh, I'll just go and do the test and then I'll know what I have to work on next time. You have got no clue what you're doing, mate. You are going to do 10 to 15 tests before you actually have all the stuff you have to work on. You can't go and do a driving test on the principle of finding out what you have to work on, because in the end, that is not the examiner's job. The examiner has a job done principle. So in other words, what's his job? Who knows what the examiner's job done principle is? So what happens? You're driving and the examiner and will take a dangerous fault. And so it's either after he has observed a major fault or he has observed a dangerous fault. At that stage, his job has been done, because basically you have failed your test. That's job done. Now, it's negative to say his job is to fail you, but his job is to make sure you are a safe driver, and he's going to let you free on the world out there in your car. So it is literally him sitting there waiting to see which of these two mistakes you make. Is it a dangerous or a serious fault? Now, obviously, judgment calls we've spoken about in previous webinars, but that's when his job is done.
If you thought your driving test report would tell you everything you need to fix, there's something else you need to understand. Your examiner may never see some of your weaknesses during that particular test, and your fail report is not your complete learning plan. We break down why in the full webinar. Watch the complete training through the link below, or visit LDriv Academy to prepare smarter before your next driving test.